Breaking news alert, Biel. We have got some interesting updates to that hypothetical matchup between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul. Now it seems like Logan is refocusing his energy back towards WWE, which has opened the door for none other than KSI to step in.
KSI putting on his story saying, "These aren't rumors. I want this fight." Mams, what's going on here? And he actually responded with saying,
hello and welcome back to Misfits News. I'm your host, as always, Ben the Bane Davis. We've got some big, latest and greatest updates for the world of crossover combat sports. But before we get to them, got to take it to my co-host, Biel. Biel, how are you?
Ben, I'm doing fantastic. Some real exciting announcement today. But let me give you a rundown of today's topics. That being, we give our Misfits 20 predictions. We have some breaking news coming from Mams Taylor himself. And even more breaking news, getting some insights on the KSI versus McGregor fight.
Love it. Well, we're a week away from fight week, so figured we give our X Series 20 quickfire predictions. Biel, run me through the card.
Well, starting off the night, Ben, we have BBCC Gareth versus Cac Hat. Who are you taking on that one?
Don't know anything about either one of them, so let's go with a split draw.
Just they knock each other out at the same time. Adam Brooks versus Gavinho.
Go with Adam Brooks on that one. I think the old man's got some juice left in the tank. No disrespect to Gavinho, but Adam's a tough son of a bitch. I think he'll get it done.
Bevo versus Dimitri Dinosaur.
Listen, before we talk about a Bevo fight prediction, the kid's got to actually make it to fight week and, get to the ring. So, no, I don't know. It's not even happening.
Not even happening. Sammy Hamed versus Ziggy Johnson.
Sammy by first round TKO. I like Zach a ton. He's a very nice guy, but he's out of his depth, in my opinion, with this one skill-wise. And I think Sammy's going to style on him more than he did in his debut against Jesse Clark.
Carla Jade versus Melanie Shaw.
This is a great fight. This is probably one of the more underrated fights. I think Carla's improved so dramatically that I'm going to take the champ by decision. I believe it's going to be Ann Still, and Carla Jade will get that belt around her waist at the end of that fight.
Ty Mitchell versus Tommy Hench.
So Tommy's the guy that beat Idris Virgo when Idris was an amateur. I know that Ty's a pro with a couple fights and some pretty good power, but I'm going to go with Tommy Hench. Let's go with the old veteran.
Wade Plems versus the Messiah Warrior.
It's an interesting fight. It's a good fight. Messiah was ready to compete on the Qatar card, so he's gotten a full camp in addition to his training right before that. So I got to go with Wade, though. I think Wade's equipped himself with BJ Flores. That's the best team in crossover combat. I like Messiah Warrior a ton. I think it's going to be a battle, but I got Wade Plem getting his hand raised.
Darren Till versus Anthony Taylor, the main event.
Yeah, give me AT. Give me AT all day long. I know that he's at a reach disadvantage, a height disadvantage, but Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor is a lot more dialed in with boxing than Darren Till is. I'm not sure how seriously Darren is taking this. I know that with Tommy Fury withdrawing, his interest in this bout has probably plummeted dramatically, whereas AT has been chomping at the bit for this opportunity for months. So I don't know. I think that Anthony Taylor is going to make it 3 TKOs in a row.
I actually agree with the majority that you put there. I think the only one that I differ on is Ty Mitchell. He had some really great experience. He used to be Tyson Fury's sparring partner as well. I know he took a bit of time out, so I think this is his time to redeem himself on the pro division, and I'm looking forward for him to have an exciting pro fight on Misfits Boxing. Before we move on to our next topic, we recently just dropped the capsule collection for the new Misfits clothing range. So make sure to check it out on the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to get access to the newest clothing range. And check it out. If you use Misfits YouTube 20, you get an extra 20% off your order. That is Misfits YouTube 20. Well, talking about so many Misfits 20 predictions, we actually got in one of our good friends, Wade Plem, to tell us how he's getting on for camp, only a week away now from his fight night. Well, if you enjoyed that, you're going to enjoy this even more because we have an exclusive Wade Extra Series episode dropping next week. Early next week, that is, so make sure you're checking that out. Here's a little preview to that video. Well, let's move on to the moment you have all been waiting for, and that is the announcement. Starting off with an interesting fight that we've been given, and it's Little T versus Afghan Dan. They had some beef. They're here to settle it in Manchester on January 18th. Ben, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, given some of the bouts being moved from X Series 20 to the KSI undercard, right, there was some vacancy on this Manchester event. So glad that these guys step in and want to throw down. Don't know fuck all about them. Don't know what their beef is about. Don't know who they are. But yeah, cool. They get an opportunity. Congrats. I will say there's one more announcement. It is that after the press conference on Thursday, the 16th, we do have the official Misfits Awards ceremony, and nobody is hosting that other than yours truly. That will be a Ben and Biel product. We'll be running through everything that evening and should be a fun event.
Absolutely, and expect some special guests there as well. It's going to be good fun. I think we're going to enjoy it, and I'm excited to hand out the awards.
Yeah, some good ones. We're not winning again, by the way. News outlet of the year. That we have confirmation. It's not us. So we'll narrow that down to 3. One more thing. Deen hinting at a return, saying, once I announce who I'm a fight, everybody gonna stay quiet. Stay the side you switched up on. In vintage Deen the Great fashion. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, especially when Cracra responded with this shush emoji. I don't know whether there's something on in the works behind the scenes. And I know they tried to put this fight on. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Then Cracra got given the belt. Now, this would be a ton of events if they're actually going to end up facing each other in the March event on the KSI card.
Here's what I don't get. So if they are just moving the event, or excuse me, the fight to a different event, then why would they switch the belt from Deen the Great to Lil Cray? I guess that's the big question. Like, why would you strip the champ and then just immediately remake that fight? Like, I don't know. It's a weird one. Who knows?
Another fight that looks like it may be in the works for this big March card, the KSI undercard. Chase is hinting at a fight with Roman Fury. Now, I'll tell you what, Ben, this would be a massive step up for the heavyweight champion.
For sure. I mean, you're taking on the bloodline of the Furies, which has produced some pretty notable fighters, of course. Tyson Fury, the most accoladed of them all. I'm really not familiar with Roman's career. I'm really not too familiar with what he's done inside the ring. So who knows? I mean, Chase, right, the heavyweight champ. That'd be an interesting fight. We get the Furies on Misfits again, right? Not a bad thing there. But Chase, if he's taking on a Fury, really hope he's leveling up at fight camp. Uh-oh, breaking news alert, BL. We have got some interesting updates to that hypothetical matchup between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul. Now it seems like Logan is refocusing his energy back towards WWE, which has opened the door for none other than KSI to step in and throw his hat into the ring. BL, things are heating up.
The sirens went off in the Misfits offices today, as we saw KSI is now rumored to do this. And we say rumored, well, we can actually give you a bit of insight, because after Ben and I saw these tweets, we sent it to the group chat. We went, Mams, what's going on here? And he actually responded with saying that there is some truth behind this, that they are really pushing to have this fight. And we also saw KSI putting on his story saying, these aren't rumors, I want this fight.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, of course, they're going to hop on this, and glad to hear that Mams is actively pursuing this behind the scenes. I think there's a lot of hurdles left to get this officially done. But to me, BL, KSI versus Conor does make a little bit more sense than Logan versus Conor. I feel like there's been some established beef and history between KSI and Conor.
Any messages for KSI? I'll fight him for that bullshit song he released alone.
As there really wasn't much of a story with Logan Paul and Conor McGregor, right? It was mainly Jake and Conor that had the issues. So I guess if I had to choose between them, I would say KSI makes a hell of a lot more sense as an opponent for Mr. Conor McGregor.
Let me throw it to you as well, Ben. I actually think this is more of an exciting and competitive matchup as well, especially stylistically when we speak about that. When we see Logan Paul, especially when he fought against Mayweather, etc., his style doesn't really get knockouts. I mean, I don't know whether I'm throwing something crazy in there, but when you look at KSI's style, it's exciting. You're expecting big shots, and he's going to really go for it. And we haven't seen JJ actually go against one of these super ultra high level professionals, and I'd like to see how he'd match up against someone like McGregor. So for me, this is a far more interesting fight than the original Logan Paul matchup.
Yeah, I totally agree. I disagree a little bit. I think Logan does come forward. He does throw, but it just doesn't feel like he has the power that it looks like he does,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he is athletically so gifted and his body is so sculpted. But, when you're hammering Dylan Dennis for however many rounds that fight was, and it doesn't seem like Dennis is in any trouble, or when you're opening up on Floyd and there's nothing going on against Floyd despite the offense. Whereas you look at JJ, when JJ connects with the right hand, there is a visible difference, right? Ask Faye's temper. Ask Tommy Fury when he got clocked with it, how that felt. So I do think that there's a bit more juice here with KSI, but I think, again, there's still a lot left to go until we can sort of officially state, hey, this one's happening now instead of Logan Paul, right? But it's interesting, right? I don't understand why Logan Paul would let this opportunity slip up, Biel. This was confusing me. This is a generational opportunity, and I get that you are a WWE superstar, and I understand that you're the United States champion, and I grasp that there's a John Cena farewell tour going on, right? Come on, I get it. But this is a boxing match with Conor McGregor where the paycheck is in the neighborhood of $250 million if everything that is reported is accurate. So for Logan, I truly don't understand what the reasoning or incentive would be for him to withdraw from this.
Maybe the love's not there. Maybe that's what's going on. And him mentally, he goes, I want to focus all my energy in on Prime. I want to focus my energy on WWE. And he says, I don't want to box again. I'm done. He's stated multiple times since that last fight on the Prime card. He has no interest in boxing. And I don't think, even when you see him in the ring, when you see him training, there is any passion in there. So maybe he's gone, I'm going to put the money aside, which is bizarre because I'd take that any day of the week and put my passions towards.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I can understand if the love's not there, the passion's not there, but if you're putting 250 big bones in front of me,
love's back.
the love's back. I found the love.
It's my true love.
The
it's love at first sight at that point.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't understand it. Like, hey, what would help Prime? What would help these other companies launchly? If you had 250 mil that you could either inject or invest or diversify. Like, I just don't get it. So, I don't know. I think that there still needs to be a lot more info available, both to us, to you guys, before we can say anything with certainty. But the big development is seemingly Logan out, KSI in. But we will certainly have more updates on this one as the story progresses and continues to evolve. But man, breaking news, Bia. Well, that was certainly an episode. Couple interesting announcements. Little T and Afghan Dan will be throwing down on January 18th, and we hope to see you there at the Co-op Arena in Manchester. Buy your tickets. If you can't be there in person, make sure you watch live on DAZN. For BL, I've been Ben the Bane Davis. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you in Fight Week.